You are now listening to a Rabble Press podcast.
If you're the type of person who would download an episode recap, you probably already know what's going on. Or you're like me and just love spoilers. But that being said, this podcast most surely contains Game of Thrones spoilers. You've been warned, spoilers are coming.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Brains of Podcastamere. My name is Chris Taylor. Another full house this week for episode 38. I've got with me Chris Trache.
Hey.
I have Tay Kuttner.
Hi.
And I have Marcus Bunn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to start this episode off by just saying to you guys that I had only the best intentions with this whole project of rewatching this season. And after rewatching this episode, I apologize to each and every one of you. This episode, this is like the destruction of the entire series. This episode.
Yeah, Chris, I think I speak for all of us, your podcasters, when I say fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could have skipped this episode. We could have just not done this rewatch.
I mean, yeah.
I think this is just the beginning of the end. It's not like the next two are
any better.
Any better.
No.
any better. Yeah. So this is just going to be a long few weeks.
It's so bad that I can't figure out how this gets made, and nobody says to them, wait, are we really doing this?
You know what the thought process was? Guys, we only have 3 episodes left. We need to wrap this shit up. Let's just go.
Yeah, but they took a year and a half.
Yeah. He didn't care.
Just
Like, guys, we have Star Wars after this. We're good. Oh, wait, did the Star Wars away from us? Oh, shit.
All the different locations, all the different scenes, like nothing. I'm sure nothing was filmed in order, or the actors wouldn't have known. Just the overall executive producers, who are the assholes that did this to us in the first place, would know the overall arc of this episode.
Right.
Well, they did do table reads.
They did.
Way
We
back
saw
when.
the table reads with John crying when he and it's like, this is just atrocious.
That's when he decides to act, is at the table reads.
You know what? He had some lines in this episode.
He did. He had more than I thought. I was waiting for just actually Tyrion said he didn't want it more than him.
He said it like 2 or 3 times.
I started keeping track midway through for retroactive drinking game.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm already drunk. Anyways. Okay, so let's get started. Jorah's dead. And it's still kind of dark at the beginning. Like, this is... Okay, so was it just me? They do the close-up of Jorah. They do Theon cry, and Sansa's crying over him and whatever. And she puts the little Stark pin in his thing, so he'll always be a Stark. Those are nice. 2 things. Those are 2 things about this episode that I'm like, okay, I kind of like that.
Grasping at straws.
Right.
Yeah, I like that too. I like that the pack survived. And I like that, Daenerys seemed to be genuinely sad about, like, this was my last true ally.
Right. So, is it just me, or did it seem like, because they showed, like, a wide shot of all the dead people. And doesn't it seem like not a lot of people died?
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like a lot.
Like, it felt
For
like...
the last episode where they're, like, standing in piles.
Right, it felt like... There was just like, I don't know, looked like maybe 50 people. Well, obviously, it was more than that, but it was like...
What did they do with the dead bodies that the Night King had turned?
Well, they burned them all.
That's a lot of burning.
That's a lot of burning. You know who could have helped with that? The Red Priestesses.
Sure, yeah.
Where are they?
Doesn't matter.
Still waiting to come from the last episode.
Listen, Danny just kind of forgot about them.
I guess won't be the first time we make that joke. My note for this, and it's similar to yours,
joke.
Is like, if you looked at the characters, specifically the ones who fought in the battle, Jon Snow had this weird scrape on his cheek, which he didn't have the episode before.
Right.
He cut himself shaving.
God damn it, this is unrelated. And I think Sam had one up on his forehead.
Right.
And that was it.
Nobody even lost an
No-
arm or nothing.
No slings, no crutches,
No,
no black eyes.
Nothing.
Especially Sam. I mean, he was like,
Well,
knee deep in that shit.
hold on. Ghost lost an ear.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the one.
That's the one. Okay, so John says his speech. My note is literally yeah, like the damn fires.
Mine is Kit Harington isn't really a good actor, is he?
No, he really isn't.
yet still got nominated for an Emmy.
You keep bringing that up, Mark. You're really mad about
Because
that.
it's awful.
Who didn't get nominated that you're pissed off about?
Anyone other than Kit Harington for season 8 of Game of Thrones.
How anybody for this season got nominated for anything? I'm a little confused, but
The acting's not bad. Well, so mine like Amelia Clark is good. Oh, who
is she? Is she?
I thought she was pretty good.
I don't know. I think it's just the writing in this episode is just so atrocious that it's like
She's got something, and that I just
she's got
my
something.
minor child actor thing is like when you cast kids, you don't know if they're gonna grow up to be good actors.
Right.
yeah, that's true.
Luke from Modern Family, like he was cute as a kid, and then just you're awful. But like, so they did good with like Sophie Turner and Maisie Williams, but they did bad maybe with Kit Harington.
Right. Well,
And
see, I don't
Brand.
think that's necessarily the case with Kit Harington. I think
Brand.
that Brand, it doesn't matter if he knows how to act because all he does is like sit there.
I didn't want this at all. You can't envy me.
I
I
don't
live
want
in the
anything
past.
anymore. I live in the past
Look at
now.
my wheelchair.
But guess what? I'll be
Very
king one day.
old.
I don't want it.
I do want it.
The
Okay.
Iron Throne,
Not
that
my
is.
queen.
Just kidding. When I'm given it, I'll take it.
It's so bad.
That's the thing. No one ever offered him anything before. That's the first time. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, Tyrion did kind of call him the Lord of Winterfell.
That's
So,
true.
and
He's like,
he said,
no,
"Nah."
I don't want that.
All right. Anyways, we're
Oh,
getting ahead of
Iron
ourselves.
Throne.
We're getting
Yeah.
ahead of ourselves. Hold on.
Oh, no one said
Okay.
the Iron Throne.
So
It's just so fun to do a Brand impression.
it's really good. But to your point, I think that Kit Harington had moments in this series, the whole series, where he was good. I would say everything, and I would say everything before he died, and I would say even after he died, when he came back, there was still some good acting in there. I just think this particular season he is particularly bad, and I think
I
that's
can agree.
because
I agree with you there.
they ran into where they were going with the show, and I'm sorry, the chemistry between Kit Harington and Amelia Clark, it's not there. It's not there. It was
They're clearly friends, and I
Right.
think they are in real
Yeah.
life. They're quite close,
Right.
and it's clear that they're friendsies.
right, and
It
that's-
doesn't help he had so much good chemistry with the last one he was with.
and that's the other problem is that they did too good of a job with
And so did she.
well and they actually fell in love and actually got married. So like they were for real in love in those scenes and you could feel it. And
Well, I mean, Amelia Clark, and even
Oh,
with
yeah, yeah,
Dario, who's doing God knows what in
no, but
Slave
her
and
and
Free.
Drogo I totally was in on too.
Yeah.
So, by the way, speaking of Drogo, hold on. Sorry to slam on the brakes here. Have we seen the photos from Dune yet? Has
No, I
anybody
don't
looked
spoil
at
myself.
them? Mark, you can look at the pictures. It's not going to spoil anything. Holy shit! It looks amazing.
Look, it's a Denis Villeneuve movie. It's gonna look fantastic.
Denis. It's Denis.
Denis Villeneuve.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Thank you.
I
Anyways,
gotta look at these photos.
it's gonna be amazing. Anyways, but Jason Momoa is playing Duncan Idaho, which I think is a strange name for Jason Momoa to have, but that's okay. I've only read half the book, so I haven't finished the book yet. So I should probably get on that before the movie comes out.
What about wasn't it a movie with Kyle MacLachlan?
Oh yeah, no, we don't talk about that movie.
I thought that wasn't. Doesn't it have like a big cult following?
Yeah, for it being horrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's not good.
I get it mixed up with Tremors.
Yeah, it's not the same thing at all.
Tremors is a lot better than
Tremors is probably a way better movie. That's right. That's right. Okay. So here we are. My next note was Jorah did get his best possible ending, and it's funny because John mentions that when they're together, because he really did. He died saving her, and he never has to see her flip.
Him and Theon, by dying,
both got
really got out of the garbage left to come.
That's right. We can still be like, yeah, Theon and
right. We're good.
And man, what they do to Jaime in this episode, I'm sorry. Anyways.
We'll get there.
Okay, so the feast is happening and it's really quiet. And then Gendry's like, yo, you seen Arya? Cause like
how does the Hound know that they banged?
I don't think he does.
That's a good point.
But I think that he just knows what's up.
Well, they call him the Hound. Hint, hint. Wink, wink.
It's true though. That's a really good point. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Why does he know this?
It's crazy. He shouldn't know.
There's a lot of things that people shouldn't know, but they do know.
But I love that he's like, you know, all these people are dead outside the walls, and this all you're thinking about? And he's like, well, no, I just want to. And he's like, well, you should be thinking about that. They're all dead. Who cares? Like, the Hound had some good moments in this episode. So Gendry goes to get up and walks away, and then Daenerys calls him over, and it's like, you're in trouble now. And then she's just like, I'm gonna make you the Lord of Storm's End and make you a real Baratheon and yada 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 yada.
Yeah, what was her motivation in doing that?
Well, Tyrion says it to her right away, like, oh, that's smart
cultivating allies.
Because he'll never betray you because you gave him the title and you have him forever.
But by giving him the title, doesn't that mean he's a legitimate heir to the throne now? Because technically, it's still Baratheon's
technically
throne.
He's next in line.
I don't think so, because I think that the Baratheon path to the throne was broken when Cersei took it, because Cersei has become a Lannister, or always technically was, but
I think that line is broken. Like, she's just trying to take it back, right?
And I mean, like, let's be honest, this whole like claim to the throne thing is all bullshit anyways.
Yeah, they kind of forgot.
It's not even that. It's not even about kind of forgetting. It's just that, like, it doesn't really matter, because like I could just be like, you know what, I got this giant army, I'm coming to take the fucking throne, I don't care whose it is. And then now I have and this is the problem with the Baratheon thing, is that, or with the whole like she's the rightful heir, blah blah blah. He fucking killed your whole family. You and your brother are all that's left. You have no claim to the throne. Get out of here.
Baratheons do. You're right. Gendry has the claim now.
I guess.
I think you only have the claim if you're in power. Because even in the beginning, they're just saying they want to take back the throne.
Right.
Mostly. They do say, like, oh, it's supposed to be mine, blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to be yours because it was overthrown.
The usurper. Okay, so Sansa also gave her the look when she did that, like, oh, I see what you're doing. So Sansa didn't like that at all. And then all right, so then we get to the Brienne and Jaime. Let's have some drinks.
This part's just weird. All of it's weird.
This whole scene is just like a bunch of like.
I really wish she just hooked up with the mountain guy. It would have been so much better.
The mountain, or do you mean Tormund's giant pain? Because the mountain would be weird.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The Tormund. It would have been so much better.
And this is the thing, like,
he liked her from the beginning.
Right. Okay, so we're skipping over one important thing. So
sorry.
He tries to tell Jon. Oh, Tyrion talks to Bran. Whatever bullshit. We've already made fun of it enough.
Oh no, I wrote down lines.
All right, please recite them for us.
Tyrion saying, "You know our history better than anyone." Yeah, no, duh. That's his point. Like, this whole scene was one of the fucking worst.
Yeah, it's real bad.
And I just like, shut up, you goddamn Pikachu meme. Because him being like, I mostly live in the past now, and then freezing on Tyrion with the, it's like, fuck off. I hated that scene, and I just wanted to talk about it in context with the rest of the episode because it's so stupid.
Well,
There's
and I mean,
a lot of those type of scenes in this episode.
And this episode was an hour and 17 minutes long. They could have cut that scene.
It had no bearing aside from like, I don't know, establishing that he don't want it, and then like, oh, just kidding, I get it at the end.
That's the thing. It makes the end even worse.
Yeah,
it really does.
That's what that scene
really
does.
What else? Okay, so after that, Tormund's trying to get Jon to drink the whatever the fucking shit he drinks is, and Jon's like, no, I'm not. He's like, vomiting is not celebrating, and Tormund goes, yes, it is. Like, just straight faced, yes, it is. What are you talking about? Tormund is one of the very few bright spots in this episode.
Yes.
So
because he's also, I think it's the people who stay true to their character,
right.
Mm-hmm.
And he does. Now, granted, he's not a super deep character.
Right.
But
there is one issue I have with him, though. There is one issue I have with him in this episode. So we'll get to it, though. So you
How
know,
dare you?
to the Dragon Queen, blah blah blah, and then she's like to Arya Stark, blah blah blah.
Who's not even in the room?
That's right. And then everyone's like, Tormund's like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy. He flew on a fucking dragon. And Daenerys like looking at them like, yo, bitch, I fucking rode a dragon 4 seasons ago. What are you talking about?
Hey, he was on a dragon last season.
That's right. He fucking flew on a dragon.
As a woman,
Yeah.
I sympathize with her in this
Right,
scene.
because I understand, because everybody's like going to Jon, you did this, you did that, you're the you because you're a man.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, and I get it. Is this enough to drive a woman to becoming evil, to burning down an entire city, Tay?
No, because I know, and we've talked about this the last couple podcasts. I'm watching this season now under the lens of like, can you watch her snap?
Right.
And with this episode, or this scene in particular, she's more sad
Right.
than angry. Like it's still it.
But I think this is the start. This is where it starts.
But I feel like
Stages of grief.
I guess I feel like, but the last couple episodes, there were moments of like we could see her cruelty.
Yeah.
And even the season before with burning the Tarleys, it was like, okay, we can kind of see your cruelty. And this one, it was like I thought it took a step back because it just made her sad. They made her sad this episode.
But she realized
If she had like an angry face, maybe it would have been a little bit more towards that as opposed to the sad face she gave.
But here's the other thing. She has new information in this episode that she didn't have before. She didn't know that Jon had the better claim to the throne than she does. She didn't know that she was banging her nephew. That's enough to make anybody sad.
She didn't really care.
Still, apparently, it was fine
It's a
with her.
Targaryen thing.
Yeah, I mean...
We'll get to that scene.
Okay, so so my note here is there it is. She's an outsider. Everyone loves Jon. Varys sees it in her that she's not okay with it.
But it just like the events that I would expect to unfold based on her reaction would be like turning on Jon or something,
Right.
or like saying, fuck this, I go with that. Like, not what ends up happening.
That's what should have happened. She should have fucking burned Jon.
That would have made more sense.
That would have made
Or had
so
Grey
much
Worm
more,
kill
or
Jon
had
in that
Grey-
fight.
in anything.
Yeah, like I said last year with the episode of the Bells, I thought Grey Worm was going to kill
It
Jon.
would have been okay. So let's play it out this way. So she finds out that Jon tells everybody, and she has Grey Worm kill Jon, and
Yeah.
then at the end we get Arya killing.
Yeah.
Well, because the whole thing,
Right there, it's better. Right there, the whole show's better.
it's called the Song of Ice and Fire, and I don't know, like I thought the whole time it was gonna end in a Jon versus Daenerys,
Right.
and it never really does.
No.
That's what I thought.
See, because to me, the Song of Ice and Fire is referring to John himself.
I always thought it was ice, which is John, fire, which is Daenerys, and eventually they battle, and it would be cool because here are two characters that you have loved
Right.
through the books, through the series, and now choose one.
Yeah.
Neither are particularly bad. They both have their own points.
And neither are
But you can
good
make the same
either.
argument
And see,
for
this
Jon
is where
is-
it'll be better in the books, because John's an asshole in the books, and they never made him an asshole in the show.
I'm saying you
John's
can make
done
the same
some stuff
argument
in the books.
for Chris with John being an internal struggle because he's both the Stark and a Targaryen.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the answer is Chris is right, and I fucking hate that that's the Song of Ice and Fire is just John's
It's just John.
internal battle, and not here's two characters that you've loved for like as long as the books have been out, like 20 years. Just kidding. None of it fucking matters.
24 years. 24 years.
I always just assume Ice and Fire was dragons versus the ice people.
Oh.
That's
okay.
what I always just.
Which also didn't really happen either.
Nope.
No, which it should have.
So
That's
so
what it
there
should
you
have
go.
been.
I mean, they
It
just
probably
they
should have
kind
been.
of just forgot
they
about
take
the
the
title.
throne.
Yeah.
She should have taken the throne, and then they fight the ice people. That's the way it should have.
Or it. I mean, why
And
was
you
the
should
Lord
have
Light against Night King?
established the Night King.
But why was
You
Lord Light
noticed
against Night
what he
King?
was.
Like, why were they on opposite sides? We don't know that. I mean, even in the episode, Davos says, "Well, the Lord of Light just fucked off." Literally, he says that,
Yeah.
and that's it.
We did his thing, and now he's gone. Who knows?
That's
Yeah.
his way of telling the viewers, "Hey, don't expect much, eh? It's
Yeah,
over."
don't expect this to be wrapped up. It's kind of done now. That's good.
So we go to the drinking game, right? Tyrion asks Brienne, but whatever. They're doing the question thing, and then the best part is he says, "You're a virgin," and you see Pod grab the cup and take a big gulp.
That's
Best,
the only good part about that scene.
best part of the scene.
I like his face too. He's just like, well,
Well,
They're drinking if it's a lie.
right? No.
Okay.
You drink it. No, you
If it's
drink
the
if it's true.
If it's true.
So if
yeah,
I
then
say
that's,
something
it just
about
made it
you-
funny of him going like, "Uh-oh, this can't end well."
So then she's like, "I gotta piss," and gets up, and Tormund comes over, and she leaves, and he goes to walk after her, and Jaime stands up and like stops him, and it's like, that's the final Tormund shoot down. Why couldn't she just end up with Tormund? Why do you do this to us?
and it's such a weird scene. Like when Tyrion like pours the glass, he's like, it's just so weird.
Yep.
It's such a.
And then
It's like these two bullies are like, nah.
Here's
We're
the part
stealing
that
your
I
girl,
don't like.
and you can't do anything about it.
Because Tormund immediately goes over to the Hound.
The Hound.
And he's like, "Oh, she broke my heart. She left with this guy, blah, blah, blah." And then a girl comes over and he's like, "Oh, yeah, let's go."
I didn't mind that. Is that the thing you were going to say?
Yes, because he was like so enamored with her. I mean,
He
I
was,
could,
but
again, and again, it was always from afar. So again, if another girl, like if a girl shoots you down and another girl walks over and is like, "Well, I'm good to go." Well, you're good to go.
yeah. Well, my note is, "I'll help you, Tormund." Like, let's do this. But I thought that was true to his character because he was pining after her, and
Right.
then when it was like he wouldn't be heartbroken, he'd be like Tormund
True.
would react the way he did, like,
No.
"Yeah, she doesn't like me."
No,
Oh,
you're
all
right.
okay.
It was just all that time of like trying, and then just to be like, I guess that's it. He just gave up awfully easy. That's all. And then the girl sits down beside the Hound, and he's like, "Fuck off! Like I don't want any of this." And then you see her get up, walk over to Pod. I didn't even notice that Pod's got two girls. He walks off. Attaboy, Pod. We call that the jackpot.
Yeah, it's two bullies stealing a girl, but I think Tyrion's motivation was more he's just so happy that it's not Cersei.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm even defending anything about this episode.
Right.
But yeah, Jamie's a fucking asshole in that scene.
Jamie is an asshole after that scene in this episode too. Okay, so then Sansa sits down with the Hound.
I forgot about their relationship, and I did. If we can dig into bright spot moments of this dank shithole of an episode, this was a good scene.
Yep,
I like this scene. This scene's the best scene in the whole thing.
He's like, had you stuck with me, none of this bad shit would have happened to you. And then she's like, yeah, but without any of that shit, I would still be that stupid girl. And she's not wrong.
Yeah. And did anyone else in all caps write Clegane Bowl?
Get hype.
Because I'm like, there's only one thing left for me to do. And I'm like,
yeah.
Yes. Here it comes.
I mean, we talked about last year about that part, but still, like, watching that scene with her and the Hound was sort of almost saying, the raping that I went through was,
it was all worth it.
It was worth it. I'm so happy I got raped.
Sexually assaulted would say, thank God it made me
so glad I got raped.
All of us who've been in shitty sexual situations, we're all and every single woman has been. We are all thankful.
Yeah, thank God that happened.
For doing that to us.
Right.
This is why men rape. Build
for
character.
making us stronger.
Right. So really, I'm gonna not say anything else.
Yeah, careful. We're towing a line here. We're towing a line.
I'm done. Okay.
So Sansa gets up.
So then we see Gendry, and he finds Arya shooting her little arrow, and he's like, "Oh, you're not celebrating." She's like, "I am celebrating," and he's like, "Hey,
first off,
good news. I'm a lord. Let's fucking bone. Oh wait, let's get married too." And it's like, dude, like that's not. He should have known from way back that's not who she is.
The fact that Arya killed the Night King and literally saved the world.
Saved the world, 100%.
And she's just off on her own, whipping arrows.
Yep.
Because it's just another Saturday for her.
Yeah.
Just Tuesday. Another day.
But like
Tuesday.
No one, I get her, but no one would have. John doesn't come down and be like, you really need to get out there.
Right.
You're responsible for everyone alive right now.
Yeah.
Also, the scene, why is she shooting arrows into the hallway?
Yeah, you should be shooting them the other way.
Yeah.
Where people aren't coming from. But whatever.
Was the whole point of that just to give that Gendry a nice scare? Like,
yeah. She knew he was coming. She knew he was coming, so she's like, I'm gonna make him ready.
Let's be honest, there wasn't much point to that scene anyway.
No, yeah.
Well, just for them to break up finally.
Well,
they were never together.
Yeah, it made no sense to begin with.
They were
you don't
together.
even need that scene. You don't even need that scene.
They were together.
Yeah, because they include that stupid scene where she decides to have sex with him.
But they needed closure on that, like to make sure that we know that she's still Arya. Okay, so then we get the worst scene in the history of scenes. I fucking hate this in all caps. I fucking hate this in all caps. So Jamie goes in.
I have a rival. I have a rival for it later, but
okay,
I do agree this is garbage.
So Jamie walks in, he's got the drinks, he's like, you didn't drink, blah blah blah, have more drinks, let's get drunk. And then he's like, oh man, my shirt's chafing me.
Now my
pants are chafing me. And it works like a charm. It works like a charm. He's like, and she's like, oh, here, come here, and starts undoing his shirt. And then he undoes her shirt, and she's like, what are you doing? What are we doing right here? If you're taking my shirt off, then I'm taking your shirt off. That's the way this works.
She's never done it though, so she doesn't know.
What do with boobs?
Yeah, and then again, in all caps, I hate this so much. Why couldn't she just get with Tormund?
There's something inherently icky about this, and I say this seeing aunt and nephew make out later.
Mm-hmm. The next scene, actually.
I don't think Brienne's ever pined for him, though.
I think it was always
there was a little
very
bit,
subtly.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But so okay, if I can put on my lady bra again, as I did earlier, it's yet again turning an incredibly strong, powerful female character and completely sexualizing her. Like, here's this warrior woman.
Right.
Oh, but she just wants to cuddle a man, and like I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
She should have just, you know what she should have done? She should have grabbed Torment and said, "Come on, we're doing this."
Yeah,
That's what she
that
should.
would
That would have been badass.
Yeah.
That would have been
so
badass.
out of character for her to want this,
And then
like,
to be so like
Yeah.
when he leaves
Yeah, no.
later, which we'll get to,
exactly.
the way she
that part's
responds to it is
awful.
like that's completely out of her character.
Yeah.
Yeah, just and it's the taking this incredible warrior woman who, aside from like season 2 with Renly,
Right.
there's been nothing sexual about her, and that's so
It's all about being a good knight, keeping the oath, protecting the
so
Star Kids.
refreshing to see as a female, and seeing a female character like that isn't about a guy.
Right.
Just kidding.
It's always been just
It's
about a guy.
always been, yeah.
We're gonna reduce her to sobbing over a dick. Anyways, thank you so much.
No problem. It's just.
You can write me
When
at
you-
Scott Schwarting, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook if you'd like to discuss the sexualization of
When
strong
you-
characters in Game of Thrones more.
When you think of how well this show has done with like strong female characters and how to just flush it right down the toilet at the end.
Is
Like-
there anyone of our strong female characters, maybe Arya, although they did, like, she still did have to pound it out,
Yeah.
any of our strong female characters that weren't reduced to a damsel in distress?
Well, I mean, Sansa was at the beginning. I think Sansa became a strong woman after starting out as a damsel in. Right. Yeah, and I guess and now they've said, oh, it's because she got raped.
Maybe
So
Cersei?
no, so no, Cersei. Yeah,
Maybe
Cersei. Right, and Cersei.
Melisandre.
And Cersei is fucking batshit crazy and evil and stupid.
She used
and
her
they write her.
sexuality, and
You're
isn't
white-
that evil?
You're
when
white
a
milk
woman
lady.
No, no.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
think she.
that's right, but I don't know if she was a particularly strong.
But she was never damsel in distress. That's what I'm getting.
True.
But like Brienne and Sansa and Arya and Daenerys, these are all of our female characters that were all reduced to this pining, doe-eyed woman.
It's
I'll
stupid.
write my PhD dissertation on it.
I love it. Okay, so the next scene is possibly worse. John and Danny time. So she comes in the room and she's like, "Oh, are you drunk?" And he's like, "No," and stands up and stumbles like the fakest stumble of all time. Well, maybe a little. Like I don't
didn't
think
puke though.
has Kit Harington ever actually been drunk?
So
No.
here's an actually he did go to rehab after this.
Oh, I would too.
Can't imagine why not.
I did go to theater school.
Uh-huh.
And like obviously the thing with acting drunk is people do that like stumbly whatever, but when you're actually drunk you're doing everything in your power to seem like you're not drunk.
Exactly.
And that's how you act drunk, is
Right.
just to be like just barely
Just-
holding on.
And like super aware of every movement you make.
Yeah.
Because like I can remember times when I was young and I was drunk and I shouldn't have been and had to pretend not to be drunk.
Yeah, and you come home and when
And I
you're like
can-
16 and you're like,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You were like, yeah, mama. Dad.
One foot in front of the other.
and it's like there's no way I fooled anybody, but in my head I was fooling everybody.
Yeah.
like that scene from Wolf of Wall Street when he's driving home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so they start I can't even remember how they started, but they just start making out at one point.
Because they talk about Jorah and like
Right.
he loved you, yeah, but not the way I
Not
love
the
you.
way I love you, baby. You know, come here and give me that nephew tongue. Ah. And then he realizes, oh wait, you are my nephew. This is kind of weird. And then Now I don't know. Who do you think broke off that kiss?
John broke off that kiss.
John broke off the
John
kiss
for sure.
Yeah.
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 Because I don't think she ever was kind of like, you're my nephew.
It was
She was
the other way
icky by
around.
that.
She was always presented as like, it's fine, let's go.
So
I think I don't know. I think with this scene too, I don't know if she ever truly like. I think her one true love is still Drogo.
right.
Yes, I agree with that.
Drogo. And I think she saw an opportunity. I don't know if she necessarily loved him, but maybe I'm just trying to explain away their garbage chemistry.
And the
Maybe.
garbage writing.
So she her big idea is like, because he's like, well, I don't want it. I don't want to be king. Don't worry about me. I'm not here to steal your fucking throne or anything. And she's like, okay, well, it's pretty simple. We'll just not tell anybody. She's like, you swear your brother and Sam to secrecy, and we just won't tell anybody. And he's like, well, I have to tell Sansa. And she's like, but if you tell Sansa, you might as well just tell everybody.
I do like the.
But she
like
swore
the
to
line-
secrecy.
Yeah.
I do like the line when he said when she says, "I told you how."
Right.
Like when
Yeah,
he
yeah,
says,
Yeah.
I want this to be the way it was," and she's like, "It can." I just told you how.
yeah.
I like that line.
I
think
want to
that's
live together.
one of the better written
yeah.
lines in the whole show.
And the look in her eyes, like, because this is evil Daenerys now we're dealing with.
Yeah, this is her
Yeah,
like
she's already
realizing.
flipped. She's already flipped at this point.
Yeah.
This scene also contains 3 drinks that I paid attention to.
Okay.
I don't want it, and back to back, you're my queen.
You're my queen.
Back to back. I
Damn.
didn't know that. Wow.
It was like you're my queen, and then the line, no, you're my queen, and it's like, oh fuck. So 3 drinks for those keeping track at home.
Okay, my next note is Jamie knows he fucked up. Why did I type that?
Because it shows the scene of him in Brienne in bed and he's just looking up in the
Oh,
ceiling.
right. Okay.
Oh.
But then we don't really get that until after. Anyways, okay. So then it's time to plan the attack, the big invasion.
Oh.
This is one of my favorite dumb moments
Okay,
that I
so-
did not.
So they're like, oh,
But-
we lost half these dudes. We lost half these dudes.
Took
We
them
lost
away.
half these dudes.
And then if you were watching, Dothraki comes silently and moves their pieces too.
Yeah, it was
And I
actually really
just
smart.
loved it because my note is lols Dothraki, remember that.
Yeah.
Because we thought they were all wiped out, and they don't say it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why
And
they
we're-
didn't get the guy to be like, yes, and the Dothraki army. He just silently comes up
Yeah.
and moves his people away.
And what is like? So they're like the remaining Dothraki. Like, where were they? Like, so you sent a bunch to die.
They were on.
Where were the other guys? Were they just sitting back, like, we'll wait back here,
So
guys?
they were behind Winterfell in case.
Yes,
they got
just in case they got further. I see. I see. Just a strange scene.
I have an answer.
Yes, Chris
Oh.
Taylor, host of this podcast.
They just, kind of forgot about them.
They just forgot that they killed them all.
Okay.
Because remember, in the previous episode, the producers said in the post-episode commentary, we are witnessing the end of the Dothraki.
No.
Did they really?
They did.
No, just the one guy silently moved the
Just
piece.
kidding.
Hey
Okay.
guys, we were a little late to the party. We had way too much to drink. We were all passed out.
So
Maybe that's what it is. They were all passed out because they drank too much.
that's
There
definitely
you
it.
go.
Thank
So,
you.
Cersei. So Daenerys says that they need to remove her root and stem, and then Tyrion's like, "Well, we want to remove her, but we don't want to destroy King's Landing.
Why is that even on the table?
We don't." If you
Daenerys is
keep
taking
saying
cities
it,
over 4
if
without
you
having to
keep
take over a
saying
city.
it, right? If you keep saying it, guess what's gonna happen?
You know, I didn't think about this before.
So the plan, Jesus Christ, just kicked my whole desk. So the plan is to surround the city and just wait them out. Just wait them out.
Yeah,
And so Sansa pipes up and she's like, well, like a lot of our troops are like hurt and, they need some time to like recoup. And Daenerys.
But then
like,
Dane's like, we have 2 episodes left. We gotta get this
yeah,
shit
we
done.
gotta-
We gotta go.
Listen,
what do you think? We
Come
can
on,
wait till
guys.
next season? There's no next season. So and then and they for some reason say John's doing this. These guys are going this way. Oh, and Jamie's gonna stay in the north. Who the fuck cares about Jamie? Who in this room
What?
gives any thought to where the fuck Jamie Lannister is in all of this? Nobody.
Oh, you mean one guy with one hand?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay, he can stay.
Who cares about
fine.
Brienne? You know, the person who is technically his commanding officer. Nah.
Right. So, and then John puts his foot down and says, because I guess, yeah, he puts his foot
Get
down.
ready
He's
for
like,
a
no,
drink."
we're fucking going.
Because
She's my queen.
she's all queen.
Smart queen.
At this
Uh,
point, I
Then
wonder why.
my next note in all caps is, why are you even here, Bran?
right. It's a good
Because
question.
I was gonna say, why doesn't Arya just pipe and say, "Hey guys, I can sneak in, kill Cersei," because I did the same thing with Walder Frey, snuck in there,
Yeah.
put on a lot of faces.
I mean,
Hey guys, I just got the
kids.
fucking Night King.
we
I got
have lots of skilled assassins here.
Yeah.
Let's maybe, I don't know, make use of them.
Maybe she looked at Bran and Bran just went. And then she's like, oh, okay, I won't bring it up.
May
No,
I
that's not how it
ask
happens.
a
Yes.
question knowing we have no answer? And I think we discussed this last year's podcast of like, who just start the 6 kingdoms? Who gives a shit?
Right.
So my question is, what? So they keep saying the people will eventually. What people was my big question from this scene. What people are still with Cersei? How big is the population of King's Landing?
Well, they've said it's 1 million people in King's
So
Landing.
I looked up the 7 kingdoms, and
Right.
if I may, we have the Kingdom of the North,
Right.
which is the Starks. So obviously, there we'll say Team Stark versus Team Lannister. The Kingdom of the Mountain and the Vale is the second. So they're Team Stark. That's the Eyrie.
Right.
The Kingdom of Isles and Rivers, which is Harrenhal,
Okay.
and House 4, which I didn't really remember. Anyways, but they're Team Stark. We have the Kingdom of the Rock, so that's Casterly Rock. That's the Lannister. So we have one house of 7, Team
Right.
Lannister.
But they
They-
let that go.
Well,
Kingdom
not
of-
yet.
Kingdom of the Stormlands. So Storm's End. So that's where they're going. So do we want to say that's a second
Oh,
of
wait,
Team
did they
Lannister?
already lose? No, they did already lose
They gave up
Lannis
Castle Rock,
right?
last season.
Yeah.
Okay, so
To
Castle.
who?
But I'm
Because
talking.
when Grey Worm came in, he's like, "Where's the Lannisters?" And it was a ambush
Right. I
attack.
thought that was
Exact
this
same
season
thing.
for some reason.
No.
Okay.
So let's talk houses then, rather than physical
Right.
places. So Casterly Rock is still Lannisters. So
Yeah.
Kingdom of the Rock, Kingdom of the Stormlands, those Stark, pretty much.
Well, it is
Starky.
now.
Kingdom of the Reach, which is High Garden, they're gone.
There's nobody there. Obviously,
nobody
because that's what Bronn's going to get.
And then Dorne,
Yeah.
which they say has sworn to
To Daenerys.
Daenerys. So
So, what 7 kingdoms? Yeah.
Not
no,
only that,
you're-
but
Yeah,
King's
but,
Landing offers nothing. Highgarden has all the food,
right.
and they've already lost
that's the
Highgarden.
thing. Who is with the point of that scene is like, and this whole fucking season is the people are still, but who cares?
Exactly.
What people? What
Even
people
worse is
are
when Tyrion at
still-
the end gives that speech. So the people hate you. You hate the people.
Yeah.
What people are still on Cersei's side? Well, I just listed all of the
The
7
same
kingdoms.
woman who blew up her own trial to get out of being in a trial.
There's no one on her side. What the fuck, people?
Yep.
How big is the population of fucking King's Landing?
Oh,
Who gives a shit?
apparently, it's more than the whole North, though.
It's more than apparently the rest of the 7 kingdoms.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you so much. That scene really
problem.
bugged me.
Yeah, no problem. You
Because
got to get it
I
out.
get her obsession. I get her obsession with the throne.
Right.
This is mine, but it's like, who is still protecting Cersei?
The mountain
That
and the King's
Great.
Guard.
great. That's it. That's it.
And
the
you're on.
gold, the gold cloaks. Oh, yeah, and you're on.
That
okay.
useless idiot.
Okay,
That's a lot of
so then we go into the Godswood, where we got the 4 Starks, And
Oh boy,
yippity yippity
this...
yappity yippity yap 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 yap. And then John's like, or they're like, "You're our brother," and
Well,
he's
you're
like,
about to tell
"Well,"
them.
and then he looks over at Bran, and Bran goes, "It's your choice," and it's like, well, now that you fucking said that, it's not a choice. I don't have a
Get that
choice
asshole.
now,
And how do they not show us their reaction?
right?
How do they just
Chris,
cut
you're
away
okay with
from
that last year. Chris Taylor, he was okay with that last year because
No,
I had the same reaction.
No,
no.
I've come around.
Let us.
Yeah,
let
I've come
us
around.
No,
see
that
their
no, is it not
reactions.
John telling them? John goes, Bran, you tell
Yeah,
them.
you tell them. What? What?
Maybe because they didn't have time. Because if Bran would have told them, it would have taken a whole episode. So
Right.
It's true.
yeah, so they didn't have.
They
the
have time for the next fucking scene.
All right. Lay it on me. Because my only note here is Bronn. That's it. That's my only note.
Yeah,
This-
useless.
Scene I would like to present for the court as just as bad, if not worse, than the Brienne J.
It's real bad. Okay, but
I
here's,
said this last year,
here's
and I'll
the
say it again this
problem.
year. Braun was completely useless this season. They didn't use him at all.
And I
Because
get
they
he's a
didn't-
fan favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And
who
that's all it
cares?
is.
Just leave him.
Just leave
Or
him.
give them something a little more important to do.
Like Sirio, they didn't bring him back, even though people loved him.
Or
Sirio's
Tormund in this
dead.
episode. There's 2 or 3 more episodes left too, and they just were like, "Okay, bye," and
Yeah.
everyone arrived.
Yeah.
I think everyone would have just been happy if they just showed Braun a quick scene. Hey, come into battle with us. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And that would have been perfect. Now I'm good. And he closes the castle door.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a fan favorite. You're alive. You died doing what you loved,
Banging hookers.
or lived continuing what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, I hate this scene. It's such a
it's bullshit.
completely unnecessary fan service.
And he's just
It's
like,
fan
well,
service nobody asked for.
Yeah.
and you guys know me. You know I love Braun.
I know you do.
I love Braun, but yeah, this scene is just junk. But I can't help it because I still fucking love him.
And doesn't particularly resolve, right? Isn't this the last time we see him?
No, you see him at the very end when he becomes Master of Coin for
He's
some reason
Master of
because
Coin.
he doesn't know how to manage money, which he said in his entire life. But no, let's leave him in charge of the money.
Don't worry about that. Okay.
Gave him 3 scenes this entire season.
Okay,
That's
so the Hound and Arya are back together. The only good note from this is, "You're gonna leave me to die again if I get hurt," and she says, "Probably." It's the only.
I
Yeah.
liked their relationship. I like that they're both like, hey, we're gonna go. Okay.
Yeah.
We both have missions to kill this one person.
Yeah,
Yet
but I still
somehow
don't like how
everyone
this
else
plays
beat
out.
them to
Yeah,
King's
I
Landing.
don't like how this plays out for.
They should have taken the Catelyn Stark route from season 1.
All right. So then we get the majestic scene of the dragons flying. And they're just flying.
There we go.
This is them flying.
And Sansa just immediately opens her mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like
After being
just
twice told, swear to secrecy, twice.
Yeah.
immediately. Like they couldn't even give us like
What if someone's
a half
better?
an hour
Oh, no,
or
wait.
something.
That's not it.
Yeah, that's it. What
Oh,
if there's
yeah.
someone better?
Right.
Yeah. Ugh.
I get it. I get why Sansa's like, no, I'm telling everybody.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
it too.
Oh,
I
no,
just would have
100%.
liked. I would have liked to seen a bit of struggle because she says like, "John, you're my family," and this and blah blah blah. But then she immediately betrays his wishes.
Yeah.
So like,
But she's
give me a
brilliant.
little bit of struggle. Give me a little bit of struggle that you want to say something, but you want to, he's your brother and blah blah blah. Just give me something. But no, it's just immediately, hey, I'm gonna tell you this, and I know it's
Yeah.
gonna fuck everything up. Like I just, meh.
So then okay, so after that we go to Tormund's leaving. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to the north. I hate it down here in the south," and blah 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 blah. And John's like, "Okay, take Ghost with you because he belongs up there and he's got no ear." And then
But it's like, I'm good with this. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's what
Oh,
the
no, I'm
Braun
good
thing
with-
is so annoying.
I'm good
It's
with-
like, we're going to say goodbye to
Yep.
a wonderful character. And Ghost too.
and Sam and
Mhm.
John gives Gilly a hug and notices the little baby bump, and he's like, "Oh," and Sam's like, "Yeah, buddy." So all of this is good, and then
Except
he's like,
for the ghost.
"All right, I'm gonna leave now," and gets on the horse and looks at Ghost. Not even a pat on the fucking head.
He hugs
Not even
Gilly. He
And
not
hugs
even
Gilly.
a head nod, just this.
nothing. And look at that fucking sad face on Ghost.
Yep.
Fuck you,
Yeah.
John. Fuck you. Everything that happens after this is because of that. Everything bad that happens is because he didn't pat his fucking dog on the head.
You know I agree with that.
Lost a
course.
fucking ear too.
As a fairly new dog owner, this scene got me more than it did
Yeah.
last year when I didn't have a dog, and I was like, I can never say goodbye to my dog. No,
Right.
you take it.
Right.
Never would I do that. I really get annoyed by my dog.
Yeah. All right. So then we're on the boats, and Tyrion tells Varys because, of course,
Oh.
a secret lasts. And I like that Varys says, "Well, how many people know?" He's like, "Well, like 8." And he's like, "Well, then it's not a secret anymore. Everybody knows."
No, it's information now.
Right.
Is
So,
They could have just spread this out a little bit more. Why does it have to be so fast?
because there's only 2 episodes left
there's
after
only
this.
2 episodes.
Yeah, I know.
So, this is the start of Varys realizing that there's a better choice, and I think he already knew even before this that Jon should have been who they were backing, anyways. So, and then my next note is, I guess she just forgot about the Greyjoy fleet. Okay.
I can't believe that is a real thing.
I have serious questions about this whole thing. So they
Me too,
ambushed
and
them. They
I'm gonna
ambush them,
try
right?
not
And they
to.
shoot the fucking dragon out of the sky. And then they shoot all the boats after Daenerys turns away. And then everyone's swimming. And somehow Tyrion and Varys doesn't look like someone who would be all that much of a strong swimmer. No, like offense to, he just strikes me as the person that doesn't really know how to swim. But he made it back just fine.
He did the backstroke.
Okay, so explain to me why the Iron Fleet was close enough to destroy their ships and close enough to capture Missandei, but yet not close enough to follow them onto shore and slaughter every fucking one of them.
Or how did they even know Missandei was taken to begin with?
Yeah, wouldn't they have just assumed she drowned?
Exactly.
Right.
But that scene afterwards, oh, they took Missandei. How? Did
Yeah.
anyone
Well,
see?
that's I
Maybe,
guess she didn't make
you know
it.
what?
Well, it's
Maybe
because
someone
Grey
did
Worm
see.
went back into the ocean and swam around.
Oh, yeah.
Saw she wasn't there.
And there's
My
only
favorite
one
part when he
reason.
runs back into the ocean. That's
Yeah.
the best part.
Ah,
So,
Okay.
so now we finally see Cersei for the first time in an episode, in almost 2 episodes.
no.
Oh,
No.
what?
We are talking about this scene
Oh,
still.
sorry.
How I get, and the meme that you posted, I guess she forgot about the Iron Fleet.
Mhm.
That Trache just learned was real.
Yeah,
I
it was-
didn't realize. I thought that was like just a joke people made up. I did not realize the producers actually said that it's canon.
Yeah.
She forgot about
Well,
the Iron
Danny
Fleet.
kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet, is what, and
Oh.
and the picture that's there,
I'll give it
is
that. I'll get so okay, sure, whatever. You forgot. That's not what bugs me.
No, you
Well,
can't
but-
give her that. You can't.
All she had to do was look down.
right.
And
Yes,
all
she's in the sky.
But they were
All
behind a rock or something.
Yeah,
all
that establishing
Varys
shot
and
when they're
Tyrion
down near
had
the
to
water.
do- All Varys and Tyrion had to do was look to the right. Oh, shit. There's an entire other fleet. How did crow's nests exist in ships? And I went back and looked. They're on all of those ships for a reason.
Yeah.
There's someone in there looking around for stuff. Hey, guys. I'm only going to look forward, backwards, and left. Is that okay?
Yeah, the dude
I
who looks
don't
right
have
is on
time
his
to look
break.
right.
He was
He's on
busy
his break.
pew-pewing the dragons in the sky.
Pew pew.
Yeah, it's just like,
Ooh,
ooh.
gotcha.
Then, second question, all of that bullshit aside, as soon as Daenerys banked and avoided the next round of spears.
She could have swooped in as
Ricard.
they're reloading.
Or how about that there was like, so the one got taken down by just 3.
Yep.
Then they shoot like 100.
Oh.
And she's just like
Flying
whoop,
straight at them too,
whoop, whoop.
and then opening itself up as it turns away.
Doesn't
Yeah,
make any
here's
sense.
target.
Here's his belly, just in case you. But like, ships can't turn that quickly as dragons can, from my understanding of watching this. Turn around, torch them.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
They can't shoot sideways, just fire.
And in the next, is it the next episode? It is the next episode. She destroys the entire fleet
No problem.
without
Just like
any
that.
issue.
With more scorpions aimed at her.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then
Correct.
third, how did they pick out? So I guess we are to believe in the 2 seconds between Grey Worm saying "get to the dinghy" or whatever the fuck he actually
Skiff.
called it, and she got into it and boated away, and they captured her in the boat. She had time to do that. How did they pick out her specifically? How did they know she was particularly important?
Right.
How did they find her
Right.
in a sea of people? Literal sea of people. This is the worst scene in Game of Thrones.
This whole thing's the
There's
worst.
a lot.
It undoes so much.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I hate it. I hate
And-
everything about this
And the
episode.
scene with the dragon dying is actually still pretty tough to watch because it's very sad.
It really is.
I think it's too fast. It's out of the picture in like a second.
Yeah, but
They're
it's
like,
still
And then
like,
they're shooting, and then they're shooting the boats. I forgot about the dragon immediately. I just thought it was way too fast. You don't even really see her face. She's just like, I'm out of here.
yeah.
That was just my take on it. I just thought.
Should I burn the fleet and save my entire army? Or should I just fuck off?
No, I'm just gonna fuck off.
I will meet you guys at Storm's End.
So,
New plan, guys. Get the memo.
all right. So Cersei is pregnant because we see Cersei and she talks about the lion ruling the land and the kraken ruling the sea, and our child will rule it all. And he looks over, Euron looks over at Qyburn, and Qyburn's like, "You did it.
Good work.
Way to put your sperm in there." So Cersei says, she wants to bring everybody inside and then leave the gates open because guess what? I don't give a fuck if she murders everybody in this city. Cool.
Again, how's that an option on the table? There are other ways of taking cities, which she's done before.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. She's gonna kill everybody.
What people?
All right. So then we go back to. It's not Storm's End. They're at their Dragonstone. And so they go back to Dragonstone. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And they're like, okay, let's figure out what we're gonna do. And Varys is like, okay, can we just not kill everybody? That's all I'm gonna say. Just don't kill everybody. And then she starts talking about her destiny. And this is it. She's for sure all the way villain now. Tyrion says
So why doesn't
to offer.
Varys? No, why doesn't Varys just say, "Hey guys, Arya and Hound kind of left before any of us. What are they doing?
Because Varys doesn't.
Anyone know?"
Varys doesn't know about them.
He doesn't know anything anymore.
I guess
He
not.
doesn't
they
have
did.
his little
Yeah, they
spies. Yeah,
been dirty.
spies are gone.
It's like their hero Winterfell. Anyone know where she went, guys?
No.
Guys,
Okay. Offer Cersei her life for the throne. And then Daenerys is like, well, yeah, okay, that's what we'll do. We'll make a big show. I'll say, hey, let's end this without any fighting, and then everybody will see she's the reason that I'm burned down the city. So afterwards she can feel vindicated in saying that I told her to just come out and I wouldn't burn the city down, but she didn't come out, so I burned the city down. All of this is leading to that, and it's so fucking bad. And the next scene with Tyrion and Varys talking, like Tyrion in this whole scene is flat out lying to himself. Like flat out lying to himself the whole scene. Because he knows. Varys knows and he knows. And he's like, oh, it's treason.
Ugh.
You know, I remember
She's
in
not even the
season
queen
2.
yet.
Do you remember in season 2 when Varys and Tyrion would have scenes together and I would be like, yes, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
And then this scene shows up and I'm like, I don't even want to hear whatever this gobbledygook's going to be. So when Varys basically just says, well, I'm fucking telling everybody, so, you know.
You do what you gotta do.
You.
You do you.
Yeah, you do you. All right, so then we're back to Winterfell, and Jaime's like, just like fucking walking around, and then Sansa and Brienne are like reading a scroll, and he's like, oh, what happened? And Sansa's like, well, you know, they or maybe Brienne said it, I don't remember. I know Sansa says the thing about wanting to watch Cersei get executed, but he basically gets told what happened, and then fast forward to the evening, and he's sitting in the chair, and Brienne's sleeping, and
Are we still not there yet?
he doesn't even leave her. He doesn't even leave her a note.
So are we to assume this was the same day, or they've just been having sex the whole
The same day as he found
like
out
is
about
the first time they had sex?
No, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Jaime leaves her sleeping, but like during the first rewatch, in my brain for some reason, the same night they had sex for the first time, but it obviously isn't.
No. Yeah, it's yeah. They
Yeah,
probably
how
had
much
sex a
time
few
has
times.
actually passed here?
Well, it has to have been weeks.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this scene makes me so angry because Jaime gets up and leaves, and he's packing up the horse, and she comes outside, and you know, what are you doing? You're not your sister. You're a good man. Yada yada yada.
No, I'm not.
I'm not a good man. I did, and he rhymes off all the terrible things he's done. And yeah, he's done terrible things, but like what they're doing to his character in this scene is just like it's ridiculous. Like they just assassinated his entire character. All the growth, all the change, all the stuff he's done right over the past since season 2 really is when he kind of started to turn around, right? I don't think he really started to turn. It wasn't until season 3 when he really started to turn, but season 2 you started to see it.
Yeah.
And to have it all undone, just like that, just fuck it. He's a bad guy again. It's so stupid. It makes me so angry because you were on such an interesting, you know, redemption thing with him, and he could have stayed with Brienne. Or they should have never.
He could have still done what he did,
Brienne.
or they could have still did what they did. Just
better.
Explained it better. Just do it.
Yeah,
better.
I guess like this
more
is
episodes, stretch it out, and it's okay. That's the biggest
this is
problem
my
with all
sister's
this. It's so
soulmate,
fast.
yeah. Just explain it better. Like you're right. It's like
Yeah, that's
it would
all
have
you gotta
made
do.
sense that no, this I can't let her die alone.
Right.
I love you. I love still. I can't let her die alone.
And
We came
that
into the
I
world
would've-
together.
and
We're
that
gonna
I
leave
would've-
the world together.
And that I would have been okay with. And then here you have Brienne crying after he leaves.
Really, waterworks.
Also
went.
destroying her character.
Yeah,
Double
absolutely
destroy.
assassinating her character.
Yeah, like I don't man.
So angry with this.
Okay, so now we're outside the gates of King's Landing. Like this episode again, it's been since season 6 or season 7 when we've stopped giving up like caring about time and moving places. Right?
Yeah,
So-
it doesn't exist.
So who cares? So they're outside the gates, and the gates open up, and Qyburn comes walking out, and it reminds me so much of Lord of the Rings. And I know I mentioned it last year when we watched it the first time, but the scene was like literally taken out of Lord of the Rings. And he even calls himself the mouthpiece of Cersei, which is because that's that dude. If you guys have seen it, right? I'm not. Everybody knows what I'm
Spoilers.
talking about. Return of the King extended edition. It's only in the extended edition as well. So no, all right.
I don't. Sure, maybe I saw it years ago. So,
all right. So Tyrion's basically like, I don't have any notes for this scene because Tyrion's just like, hey, you know, like I don't want to see the city burn down and hear the screams of children. And Qyburn's like, yeah, those screams suck.
It's a bad.
Yeah, those are bad screams. And he's
Here's
like,
my note for this scene.
yeah,
Hey, they got Tyrion to go talk to Cersei again. Maybe this time he'll convince her. Because last time when he talked to her about bringing the army to the north, that happened. Oh,
right.
wait.
Oh, wait.
Didn't.
Oh, wait. So then he walks up and they all point their arrows at him. You know what would have been great? You know what would have been
They
great?
just sniped
They
him.
killed Tyrion right then and there.
They just fucking shot Tyrion in the face.
It would have
Isn't
been
that why she
awesome.
sent Bronn off to go kill?
It would have been so good.
Exactly. Like, just get it over with. It would have been. I think this would have been a more interesting way to do this. Have Tyrion die there.
Mm-hmm. Because apparently the rules don't apply to Cersei. She knows that. She's broken every freaking rule. So
Right.
why not that?
Right. So,
And then she lets them walk away afterwards after killing. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm saying it. And lets them walk away. Why not just fire scorpions and arrows?
So
right
she
then and there.
So she's like, you know, he's making the plea like, hey, like, you know, this isn't going to end well for you. You know, you love your kids. Think about your unborn child. We'll let you live, yada, yada. And then she grabs Miss Sandy by the arm and she's like, if you have any last words, now's the time.
Not bad. I don't have a problem with that line.
No, and then and I like that she said Dracarys. Like I like that she's basically telling
I
Daenerys,
love that.
burn
Yeah,
the fucking
fuck it.
burn
That's
this fucking place to the ground. I love it, and because she never liked this side of the ocean, you know what I mean? Like because they established that a few episodes back where she doesn't feel like she belongs there. So, you know, I totally understand her desire to have the whole fucking place burned to the ground because they've been nothing but dicks to her. So, but yeah, and then the mountain lops her head off, and that's it. We're set up for the bells. Is the next episode? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say upon my second watching of this episode. Knowing what absolutely positively happens.
Yeah.
I think they actually do set it up not as terribly as I thought originally.
Okay.
Watching it again, so when she yelled out the word, I had to look it up. I'm like, what's that again? I couldn't remember. And when I saw it was like lighted up or whatever, I'm like, okay. And then you see her face and she looks like she's like, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna swoop in.
Yeah.
I think because I know what actually happens in this particular episode, starting with her seeing Jon get praise, I start to see it more now, knowing what I know. And I think it actually is set up nicely. I don't technically agree with it. I don't think it's the way they should have went. But it's not. I don't think it's terrible as it was.
But it's not enough to justify genocide, though.
I ultimately think this is how the books are going to end. It's going to be very similar.
Yeah, I think we talked about it when we started this. Like, I don't disagree with how it all ends, really how they get there. And I agree with you, Trots. It's like, I love that it's like any last words. Yeah, fuck them up.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's like,
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And I just like the okay, diplomacy hasn't worked, and let's just go do this then.
Yeah, let's do what I know I can do.
But it's the turn.
It's the journey. The journey.
Good evil is so like, oh, I guess you're evil now. Oh, okay.
It just needed to be stretched out more. That's my. Yeah. I don't hate the storyline. I hate how quick it is.
I agree.
It's just too fast.
Yeah, they could have done.
This is stretched out over 2 seasons.
Yep.
I think it is not as terrible as we're saying right now.
But I think there are some characters, and we'll only know if George R. R. Martin does not die before the books are finished. There
Not
are
looking good with the coronavirus.
yeah, there are some characters that it didn't necessarily affect the ending, like Brienne, like Jade, that I think then were still done dirty
Right.
for their characters and doing things out of character.
But would you, let's say they set up that a little bit more. Would you accept it a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. Like if Brienne,
I guess it's kind of a loaded question. It's really hard to tell what that would be, but
no, I'm with you. I think that it's just the end game. I understand. It's just how they got there, and I think it's a mix of we only had 6 episodes.
Yep.
And
because maybe Brienne
Bad
shows
writing.
that emotion because she's been with Jamie for 6 months.
Right.
yeah,
We
And had
see
we
some
seen
really
that over,
passionate scenes between them,
Right.
where we actually see them together instead of like this. Who knows how long it's been?
well, because to
Couple
us,
of
it's
nights.
years.
For us,
Then
ago.
it's
been
not
10
so out of
minutes.
character, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh
Yeah.
wait, no, she actually loved him.
The first
he's
time
just-
watching it, I honestly thought it was the same night.
Yeah, it seems that way. It
I
really
was like,
does.
after one roll in the hay with this fucker, you're willing to destroy everything that we've watched for 8 years?
Oh. That's my piece. That's my end.
Yeah,
That's
all
all I
right.
have to say about this.
All right, everybody said their piece.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's gonna do it for this week. We'll be back next week to talk about the penultimate episode, The Bells, which, if memory serves, is probably one of the best episodes of all time, right?
Mm.
I
I
mean,
remember Chris Taylor really, really, really loving this episode last.
did I?
I
Oh
think
yeah.
I liked it too.
Okay. Well, we'll see how we feel tomorrow, or next week. Sorry, because did I really like it?
You loved it. Tay and I in last year's podcast was like, oh, what a terrible episode. You're like, guys, I actually love that. I
Oh.
love that turn. Like, oh boy.
I think I loved it because I was going for it the whole time, because I really wanted her to turn the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
I really, really wanted it. Because I think since like season 3 or something, I'd been on the Mad Queen kick, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah. So I really, really wanted it, and I think I felt kind of vindicated that I'd been right the whole time. That I was like, yes, they're doing
And you watched
exactly what I wanted them
over
to
all
do.
the other crap in the episode.
Right, and I was just like, yes, burn the whole fucking place down.
Did you play Vindicated by Dashboard
I
Confessional?
did, right after.
Yes.
Right after.
You're just like, hands up.
Yep. I wish I had it like ready to go. All right, guys. So we're gonna cut it there. We'll be back next week. So make sure you check us out then. YouTube.com/RabblePress for more YouTube videos like this, or RabblePress.com for more podcasts like this if you're listening to us. And if you are listening, why don't you check out the videos and see how good looking we are, because we're real good looking.
We're very attractive. Mark, you'll never know.
Right.
Never.
But I gotta say,
he's a
Am I
mystery.
even real?
He's there. He's sitting beside Dave Hodge.
Or am I Dave Hodge?
Maybe you are Dave Hodge.
Ooh,
Even
Whoa.
better.
Whoa.
Whoa. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one. I don't even know why I said that.
what is
What is up?
You've been listening to a Rebel Press podcast. Visit rebelpress.com for more podcasts.